Hello there everyone, I'm Neurobax. Welcome back to Williams. I'm finally back. I apologize for the hiatus here. I unfortunately got worse actually after my last upload of Aston. But I've taken it easy now for a week. I feel a lot better. I'd say I'm back to about 90% of, feeling good. So I'm kind of getting back into it. We're gonna continue here on Williams. In terms of the, the smoothness test that we're going to do between Pourchaire and Piastri, I've given it a bit of thought, and I think we're going to do it at Coda. The reason for that is very simple. If we go and have a look at the circuits, let's see, Coda. United States Grand Prix here. It's quite a harsh one, if I remember correctly, in terms of degradation. They can actually be said for this one as well. So I believe Sao Paulo or Mexico. I can't remember actually. One of these is pretty light in terms of tire wear, if I'm not completely mistaken. So what I'm thinking is that we do the tire test at the last 4 races here, and I'll do that in a different video. But I'm just thinking it's better to know why Piastri is going to be running around here with 10 points saved up. We're going to be, as I said, doing the tire test at Coda. The second reason why I want to do that is to see if we can get the Pourchaire stats up a bit, because potentially, I would assume, well, probably doesn't actually, but I would assume this might have an effect on tire wear too. If you mess up your braking a lot, you're gonna, damage your tires. If your cornering is bad, you're gonna also have more wear on the tires. Same with the, the accuracy, things like that. So we'll give Pourchaire a bit more time to develop potentially, and we'll try and get cornering and braking up to 97 for him as well. And we'll take it from there. But as I said, we're back. I'm feeling a bit better. Hopefully we'll be back to a more normalized upload schedule. I apologize for my hiatus. And I'd like to say thank you to everyone who have been, sending me messages while I've been gone. It really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And hopefully now I can get back on track with both Williams, Aston, the streams. And also you'll probably see some potentially other games here. With that in mind, though, we are ready to continue. We have Circuit Paul Ricard up next, France. And with that, we can set up our performance targets. Q3 should be doable for both our drivers. No problems with Q2 either. Finish position 1-2, I guess, should be doable. Again, I've been at it for a bit, but I believe we're still pretty dominant here, Williams. So I'd say we should be okay. Finish position top 4. Are we actually getting challenged? Is that... Yeah, it's been a while. I can't really remember. So let's have a quick look at the standings. We've won all but 1 race, and we've been on the podium for all of them. So I think we're good. We also lost 1 pole position somehow. But I still say we're okay. With that, let's get on to the French Grand Prix. But before that, let me just double check that we have all projects running. We do. Do we have anything in the warehouse? We do have new chassis that we can slap on if we feel the need. Front wing as well. Okay, so we do, if we start losing out a ton, we have better parts here to, produce and put on. And we even have a new underfloor. Okay, so we're actually in a very good position. We're just playing it a bit more passive, if you will, in order to have a challenge here. I see. Let's get on with it to the French Grand Prix again. I'm gonna need just a couple of races here to get back into it. It's been a while since I last played, over a week, due to, again, just getting worse after uploading that last video. I thought it was getting better. I was a little bit too active, a little bit too quick, and my body just said, no, you can't do that. So I'm back now. I'm going to still be taking it easy, don't worry. I'll just be recording a bit, but I'll still be taking it pretty chill here. Let's go to the race weekend. Here we are at the end of the French Grand Prix. We had a 1-2. As you can see, Piastri is 10 seconds behind Pourchaire. That is due to them, crashing into each other. Piastri ran into the back of Pourchaire on the, 5th last lap anyways. Had to change the front wing. Well, didn't need to, but we did it because we had about a minute down to Leclerc here. And we thought it was just safe. I got both of them on the soft tires, and the result didn't change due to it, so it's perfectly fine in that regard. Doohan here also had an accident, which is why he pitted twice. ran into the back of, I believe, Ocon, and broke his front wing. But still a very good performance from him to get back up into 4th. Started 16th due to penalties. Other than that, Mercedes, Leclerc scores points, Red Bull scores points, and Ferrari scores points. And before this race, I actually said that there hadn't been a safety car, a virtual safety car, in the last 4 seasons. And then we had 2 this race solely. Probably kind of willed that into existence. That's on me. Driver Championship, we have Doohan and Leclerc moving up. Doohan to 3rd, Leclerc to 6th. No big surprises there, honestly. And in terms of constructors, we have no changes. Still only 5 teams in the points. Decent amount of development gained. So, as I've said here, what we're going to be aiming at is getting Pourchaire's braking, cornering, and probably accuracy up before the test in Coda in Brazil. And as you can see, in terms of performance incentives, we have a little bit extra money, about 900 to 1 million. So, decent amount of money made as well. Next up will be Hungary. I think it would just get braking to 97. Then we do the same with cornering, and then we do probably accuracy. Control could be good, but I don't think it'll have any effect for the smoothness test. So we'll be focusing braking, cornering, accuracy. Reactions could be, good, but I think accuracy will be more important for that. And again, we're going to just save up Piastri's points for now. Upcoming board review, high confidence, I'd hope so. We have the development points here for Slovakia, which will go into front wing. And we'll be maxing that next, as the goal is. Aerodynamics points, we have 2. We are pretty balanced here, honestly. Again, we aren't really racing behind other cars, so we don't really need sensitivity. Management, though, will help. So I think what we do is this. Get these to 90. And I think the next thing we do here is actually focus on potentially just drag reduction to get speed up. Because I want to see just how fast we can make the car. None of our other stuff has points. That's good. Well, not good. We don't have anything to do, more like it. But yeah, we will be going right on here with Hungary. Shouldn't be a big concern. Boardroom in poor condition. We could refurbish. We have the money to do so. And honestly, we're just going to do it. It could be fun to save up money. Tour center isn't that important, though. We're not going to be refurbishing that one. Everything else here is looking good, I believe. Yeah, so we are spending a lot of money on our facilities, but it's part of the testing, really. Balance was still making money, though, even with, all our costs there. We're paying 7 million a month for our facilities, which means that we are, over the course of a year, spending about 70 million. So it sucks. I really wouldn't have upgraded these this high if I had known. But for now, the rest of the cost cap here will go to research and potentially extra ERS and engine, I think. But with that said, let's set up performance targets for Hungary. Q3, Q2, both drivers. A quality of life thing that I wish would be was just like maximize, these things. That would have been good. This one is not maximized. There we go. That would have been swell. And with that, we're ready to head off to Hungary. Let's go. Here we are at the end of Hungarian Grand Prix. Pourchaire first place, Piastri second. Piastri had a lock-up pretty early, which meant that he got left behind. Doohan and Pourchaire ended up DRSing of each other, gaining about, the 6 seconds he's behind over the course of a few laps, basically. But nothing we could do with that. Piastri still did good to come back up. Doohan on 20 seconds behind Pourchaire, 14 seconds behind Piastri. We did hard to medium, which really paid off. We were about 10 seconds, 10 and 16 seconds behind Doohan after pitting for our final medium stint. But as you can see, the boys here did pull off quite a big gap versus his old hards. Pretty good result, all considered. Ferrari 10th here, Ferrari 4th here, 10 places up with Verstappen, Gasly 5th for Alpine, and Leclerc 6th for Mercedes. Verstappen took a penalty, which is why he started further down the grid. Driver Championship, Verstappen moves up, and Giovinazzi also moves up due to just finishing position, doesn't have any points. And with this now, we are starting to get a fight between Piastri and Pourchaire, just a single point separating the two. Constructors, no changes except for AlphaTauri moving up with Giovinazzi's result. Again, no points involved, but it's good for them. As you can see, not the, most amount of development here. It had probably gotten more. Not a lot of overtakes happening. Porsche had more because he was running with Doohan. He actually had less because, of course, he ended up, running on his own. But again, not really anything we can do about that. It happens. Made a decent amount of money here. I believe we finished the qualifying position streak, as you can see. So 8 million total. About 3 million extra. Very, very good. With that, we can continue the board review. We're currently doing... we're currently on target for both. We're win the Constructor Championship by 2030. They gave us 3 seasons to do so. I think the long-term objectives need also probably a bit of an update, because we need win the VDC and the Constructors at the same time, basically. Honestly, it should be... I don't know. It's weird. This is nitpicking, though. Let's be honest. This is perfectly fine. I just want it to be a bit more varied, basically. And we get us. I also want this to change. I want it to vary as well. Just getting 1.5 million no matter what is a bit boring, in my opinion. Hungarian. Of course, I'm also a bit more critical of the game now due to how Frontier handled the the statements. I have an own video on that, but of course, I might be a bit bitter, so I might just be a bit more nitpicky than usual. My apologies. Typo research complete. Yes, we're going to start another one, really. Confidence checking, they are high confidence. Financial report, I don't think we need to worry about that. Car development report, we're losing a bit in acceleration. And we're very bad at brake cooling, but other than that, we still have the best car. Sideboard research completed. Engine cooling is going up. Let's start more researching here. Let's see. We've done one project on each. Let's get back to the chassis then. And drag reduction will not be the focus. Cooling and airflow will be, because again, want to try to do our best to, mitigate the expertise reductions where we can. So we'll be doing just that. Let's get the chassis research started. And next up, we will be heading to next race in 20 days. So we'll actually have some other things going. I forgot it's summer break. Very nice. Facility refurbishment. This should be the boardroom. I was correct. And we have one more research, I believe, coming in before Belgium. Up-and-coming driver, Nathalie Michaud. Still can't propose a contract. Still been 3 seasons in F2 and F3, so I assume that this is a bug, because again, this save is old. It's basically from when the game came out, so maybe an update messed something up with the young drivers here, but it's just how, things are. Can't really do anything about it. We'll probably be testing out newer drivers on the Aston save instead. Front wing is in low stock, that's not wrong. Let's just put it like that. Do we want to upgrade, or do we want to stick with the one we have? Wait a second, why is... Huh? I assume this is a bug, because they're telling me that front wing was worse. Let's have a quick look at the warehouse here. Let's see. Yeah, it was a bug. I hope, because it was giving me incorrect information. Honestly, we could up the brake cooling here. So let's just manufacture 6 of these instead. And once we're out of the current spec front wing, we'll just put on the new one. It's just easier, honestly. Boucher's got no point. Going into braking, again, we're going to get brake to 97. We're going to get the cornering up. Then we'll be making considerations from there on out. Behrman has 2 points to be used. It's going to get cornering up to 85. Again, just going to get everything up to 85, really. Unfortunately, has an extra point in accuracy. Otherwise, we could have tested that. But, it's okay. Unused scouts, again, 70,500. It's a salary that isn't really anything worth it for us. So, I'm just going to leave it as is. We already fixed Behrman's development. Raring research completed. Gained another 7% in airflow. Nothing in DRS, basically. Well, half the percentage points are basically nothing. And I believe that we are, again, just going to try and fix the airflow sensitivity. That's going to be the goal. We don't have CFD or wind tunnel, which is fine. So let's just get the airflow, again, fixed. And this should, in theory, be enough to, you know, alleviate the issue. And, of course, that's what we're going for here, mainly. We just want to get... We just want to maintain to some degree at this point. So fixing the airflow is perfectly viable for me. Belgian Grand Prix. Guess we're ready. Q3, Q2. Should be doable for both our drivers as usual. Not really a big concern. Finish position 1-2. And qualifying position streak is automatic. Don't really need to do anything about that. It'll set the goals itself. Let's head off to Belgium. Here we are at the end of the Belgian Grand Prix. We finished 1st and 5th. As you can see here, it's pretty close field altogether because we ended under a safety car. We had a crash here on lap 40 between Doohan and Alpine, which resulted in said safety car. The race ended under it. Unfortunately, Theo got screwed here during the pit stops, really, for Inters. Kind of on me, really, but he couldn't get back on Sainz, Norris, or Verstappen, unfortunately, and, well, just a bad race for him altogether. Bit unlucky. We also had a wet race halfway through, which had an effect, but I should have done better, really. That's on me that Theo ended up in 5th. Ferraris and the Red Bulls, though, get points, which is good for them. And Alpine here had both their cars out by Doohan's doing, so to speak. He first crashed out Gasly on lap 4, and then he crashed out Albon on lap 40, so he was the source of both safety cars this race. As a driver championship, we have the Sainz and Norris moving up a place each at the cost of Leclerc, and Hauger moving up into 13th with 0 points. Constructors, we see Ferrari and Red Bull getting some points there, catching up to Mercedes, but Alpine is still very, very safe in 2nd place. Not a lot of development, as you can see. We ended up in a situation where we, you know, had the rainy weather for start, but our drivers just didn't overtake each other. Money-wise, we're going to suffer here because of finish position, because Porsche finished 5th, but it's very minor. We still make 5.5 million, 600,000 extra in performance guarantees, so losing 75,000 is not a concern for us. Front wing research has been completed. Let's go ahead and start a new one. Let's see how that front wing is looking now in terms of brake cooling. We have a... we actually gained a huge amount here. About 12% gain. Airflow. We're going to need one more to cancel it out. But by doing that, I think we should be good to have fixed everything here. So let's do something like this. Put the downforce to minimum. We're still going to end up gaining some, as you can see. 3.5% total in low speed. We're getting a percentage for this research, but totally this would be about 3.5%, about 3% in medium, 2% in high. Brake cooling again. We can probably boost brake cooling here too. I think we'll do this. It'll help in the long run, which is the goal here. Yeah, this looks good. We'll be able to cancel out both the airflow changes for the front wing, which is great. And we'll be able to boost the brake cooling a bit more too, which is basically the underlying goal of this series at this point. See how high we can push the cooling, if you will. I'm perfectly happy with that. Belgian Grand Prix, congratulations, board is happy. Can't really complain about that. We have another research coming in here for the chassis. Let's see how that one went. I believe the chassis is still lacking a bit though, that's the thing. Car development report. This is weird. Someone has upgraded a single piece, pushing us down on acceleration and top speed. And a bit on cornering too. How is our warehouse looking? If we were to, say, slap on the new front wing, how would that affect us? Let's do that. Car analysis. Let's see. We're still 2nd. Is it a Ferrari car? Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Oh, that's Alpha. That's not Ferrari. That's a really slow for. I didn't realize the Ferraris were this bad on the speed side of things. Is it Red Bull? Yeah, it's a Red Bull car. The Red Bull car has eked us out by 0.01 kph. And actually, they have the worst brake cooling as well. Well, they are doing upgrades for different cars. Here, we have a look at car 2. No, that is car 2. Car 1. Oh wow, car 1 compared to car 2 here. 7563, 7580. So, is this an underfloor maybe, or is it just a rear wing? Let's see. 57, 64, 05. I keep on pressing the wrong button because that's the one I'm used to. This looks like an underfloor upgrade. Okay. That could make Red Bull a bit more competitive towards the end. I approve. Airflow, a little bit of a gain there, about 2%, but still. I believe we have a long way to go, but again, we're just going to balance the upgrades, if you will. The upgrades, the research. And as you can see here for this side pods, we are lacking a lot. We have 17% loss. We're currently at 3% alleviation. This will bring us up to 6.6. 6.6. 3%. Again, we're just going to get engine cooling to, you know, not be detrimental. And then we'll focus on the other... the 2 airflow stats, if you will. Sorry, I'm kind of stumbling over my own words here. My apologies. Qualifying, we're going to qualify 1-2. Well, we'll try at least. Both drivers in Q3. Fastest lap should be doable, and these are good. So with that in mind, let's head to the Dutch Grand Prix. Here we are at the end of the Dutch Grand Prix. We'll share 1. Piastri finished 3rd. The reason for this is very simple. We had the Iranian midsection. I call it a midsection. It's basically 90% of the race. So we had soft running from lap 1 to 6. Then basically intermediates all the way until, you know, lap 6 until almost the end of the race. I think it was 4 or 5 laps before the end. We gambled staying on the intermediates, not really wanting to pit, and it didn't pay off. Verstappen pitted onto softs and managed to pit Piastri. He was running lap times that were up towards 10 seconds quicker towards the end there. So yeah, I really screwed over Piastri, but Pocher held out. So good race from him. Verstappen 2nd, Sainz 4th for Ferrari. They're really starting to look good. Norris 5th, Doohan 6th for Alpine. So it's a bit interesting to look at. Mercedes is really just straight up falling off at this point. A bit disappointing, honestly. And in terms of the driver championship here, we are now 3 points between our 2 drivers. They will probably end up fighting towards the end. Gasly and Doohan have 5 points between them. And as you can see, Sainz and Verstappen, both the Ferrari drivers, moving up. And Ferrari also moving up here in the constructors. We'll have to see, though, if Red Bull can catch up with Mercedes now that they are in what basically amounts to a slump. So, well, mom-wise, we did fairly okay, as you can see. The difference is, of course, the impressive versus the exceptional, extra 150 points. If both were impressive, they'd both have, you know, about the same amount of development here, really, from the race. Still good, though. We'll lose a little bit of money here from the fastest lap guarantee. Couldn't really pull it off because, of course, we didn't pit for softs at the end. But, it's something we'll have to live with. We'd still make a lot of money. We're going to continue right away towards Monza, as I've said. Yeah, let's just get right into it. Front wing manufacturing completed. Very good. That, I believe, means we have more than enough. Just have a quick look. It's been a couple of days since I last played. I had some family over during the weekend, which unfortunately left me with no time to record. I've been sick, and as a result, well, let's just put it like this. I had surprises from family. I didn't have the heart to tell them to, you know, go away. I'm going to have to record. So I've taken the today, Wednesday, off to get some of the recording done. And hopefully there'll be some streaming later too. We'll see. ATR period starts today. Aerodynamic testing restriction. Means that we can now make something new. Post-race overview from the Dutch Grand Prix. Basically a lot of good stuff. And let's have a quick look here. And again, I know that this is getting old, but I just have to check. Underfloor research done in 3 days, which means that we could start a new one. But yeah, we'll see what we do here, because again, this save is starting to get kind of balked, I feel like, because it's the oldest save we have. And again, a lot of these free agents we just can't propose contracts to, and a lot of them don't even have any career history, as you can see. Well, for Rocky here, that isn't a big surprise, seeing that she has 37 average. But this, again, 2 seasons, even though one of them is this season. Still can't, that's the wrong one. Where is she? Assured? Still can't propose a contract, so I assume that we just can't get any young drivers there. So we will be basically switching over the Aston down the line to, you know, the veteran and the rising star, or, you know, the old legend and the rising star, something like that. But we'll be finishing up this season with Williams, and then we'll make some consideration towards the series. It's been a very, very good trip so far. Don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed it a lot. Let us have a quick look here. Race prep for Monza. Underfloor research has been completed. We have some minor technical changes on basically everything. So spray cooling and airflow, not that big of a deal, honestly. Airflow sensitivity here, we're almost there in terms of our underfloor. Again, the underfloor is just the most important part of your car. Just no discussion. And let's see, even if we put in all of our ATR, again, I'm just doing research. The most effective way of upgrading your car is intense design. We're doing research because we don't need to do it the most intense way. We have money, but the cost gap is still one of the problems that we have to deal with. And even with all the ATR time here, if we were to max everything, as you can see, we'd just gain less than a percentage point here now, because we are so far ahead. So I don't think there's a reason to put ATR into the underfloor. Will not matter anyway, so let's just reset it, and then we'll do a regular underfloor to try and fix the sensitivity loss here. That'll be the only thing we'll really care about. There we are. As you can see, we'll gain about almost 3% back, but we'll still be lacking a little bit, so we're going to have to do another underfloor down the line. It'll be done in November, which means we will not have time for it. So we'll lose a little bit of airflow sensitivity on the underfloor for next season, but that will be fine. We'll just run an intense one before the start of the season, and then we'll be back to good if we end up continuing it. Performance targets, quali Q3, Q2. Again, having more than one series is actually kind of confusing to me, because I don't remember how good we are. But I believe we are dominating in basically all 3 of our games now, so I shouldn't be too confused. As you can see, we have a very, very healthy lead. Let's head to Monza. Monza has ended. Porsche won. The Astri came second, as you can see. But we had a bit of a bowling trip, I guess you could say here. Norris third. And then we have 3 surprises. Giovinazzi made up 9 places to come in 4th. Hauger made up 14 places to come in 5th. And Guan Yu Zhou made up 6 places to come 6th. So here's the thing. All 3 of those teams haven't all scored points this season, which means that they are now, again, point scorers. AlphaTauri 6th, Romeo 7th, McLaren 8th. So that in itself is kind of interesting. Red Bull also scoring points there, catching up to Mercedes. But yeah, it was a very interesting race. We had a few things happening. First things first, we had a safety car with Gasly and Doohan. Gasly hit the back of Doohan, knocked him out of the race, unfortunately. Verstappen hit the back of, I believe, Magnussen, and took a penalty. Had to pit, put him at the back of the field here. Sainz did not have a good race. I don't think anything in particular happened to him. He just didn't have a good race. Same for Russell here. Now that I think about it, I know what happened. The safety car was just after the first set of pit stops. So the soft runners pitted. But Russell, Sainz, Albon, and one more driver that I can't remember right now. I do not believe it was Leclerc or Ocon. They were on medium tires. So even with the mediums at 50%, they elected not to pit before safety car. And as a result, they pitted just a few laps later, got pushed down, and never made it back up. The AI needs to become more adaptable at, when there is a safety car, reevaluate strategies. Basically, you just need to have set up a script that makes the AI reevaluate strategies. Are my tires below 50%? Can I now switch to a two-stopper? Will it be more effective? They just need to, you know, I know it's difficult, don't get me wrong. It's not easy to make something like that. But it is needed in order for the player to not just have a huge advantage during safety cars. We saw that during the McLaren streams, that every race we had a safety car, we scored way better than what we were supposed to, simply because we get, to some degrees, a free pit stop, which we can take, which is a huge advantage. But yeah, Giovinazzi, Hauger, Guan Yu Zhou, good performance from these three. And with this, we actually have Porsche overtaking Piastri for the championship, 1 point between them. Norris moves up to 6, and these three all scoring points now, meaning that they are 11th, 12th, and 13th. So yeah, a good race. Decent amount of development for both our drivers here, pretty good. And we made a decent amount of money here, as we had the finish position streak come to fruition, meaning that we made 7.4 million out of a, 4.9 base rate. Porsche has a point here. We're going to put that into braking. It just seems to be the superior stat in terms of pace. I'll be checking this too out later on during the McLaren streams. We might also do it here with Behrman if he develops quick enough, but I don't think he will. This will not happen in time, so to speak. We do have a regulation vote for financial changes. Let's have a quick look here. We're going to vote against the cost cap change. Again, doesn't really matter to us. We are very close to cost cap each season. As you can see, we only have a projected 18 million to play with here. We're in September. We still have 4 months left of the season, which basically limits us to just research. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. But due to the amount of money that we spend on facilities, we're already, kind of handicapped. We have spent close to 40 million here on car part upgrades this season alone, so wouldn't be too surprised. Safety sim in poor condition, we're going to refurbish because we, kind of want to. It's something that is good to keep up. And I've seen a couple of comments on a few of my older videos stating that we're going to facilities here, that you should be upgrading your factory because it gives development speed. It does not give development speed for your designs and research. It means that a part that takes, say, your chassis, or I believe it's the chassis that takes 12 days each. It does not, with this upgrade to the maximum, you'd cut off 25% time for that. So instead of it taking 12 days, it'd take 9, basically. So it's a way to, it increases the speed at which you manufacture parts. And honestly, let's face it, if the monthly upkeep goes up to 1.4 million for a maximum one, you do not gain anything. Yes, I can now manufacture 6 car parts at once. They now come out quicker. But I go from spending currently, if I could downgrade this, I would. I go from spending currently 950 times 12, which basically amounts to, 11.4 million, I think, to, 16 million. That is 5 million extra that goes into your cost cap that I could use for emergency purchases instead. And honestly, if you, again, at the start of the season, you might need to emergency purchase a few parts, but you'd still be better off financially just keeping this lower, honestly. So we're not going to upgrade the factory no matter what. The car part manufacturer here, development speed, it's wrong. It's just manufacturing speed. It really should just be called manufacturing speed, because there's so many people that have added comments saying that your factory has an effect on your design and research speeds, which it honestly does not. I can't see any link between the two. Italian Grand Prix completed. There we go. Sorry about, again, a little rant. I just thought I'd clarify. Relation vote results. Let's see how that went. But before that, we have Singapore in, well, a few weeks. And it was a pretty peaceful 2 weeks, honestly. The up-and-coming driver, Natalie Rock. Honestly, don't... It's a 21-year-old that has no driving experience. Why would you ever think that was a good idea? I would fire the scout that actually walked up to me and said that that was a good candidate to consider. We have refurbished our race simulator. That's good. Regulation mode. Change to cost cap has passed, meaning we'll have 5 million less to play with next season. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Dirk de Beer, we're going to be putting into, I guess, downforce, I'd say, is more important than drag reduction, but I like high speed. It's funny to me, so, or it's good to me. Interesting, I guess is a better word. So we're going to be investing in drag reduction for now. Again, cooling, not a big concern. We do also have a point here for Vaca. His contract is expiring, so we will have to renegotiate that one. Put it into front wing. And we also have points here for our, engineers. We're going to go into feedback again. Pit crew, number 1. Feedback 2. Communication, 3rd. And we have the same here for Diego. So let's just get that done too. Singapore. Performance targets qualifying Q3. Let's just get these set up. Should not be too much of a bother. Finish position. Both drivers 1-2. And finish position streak. I'm going to play this one safe. But one driver, top 2, 5 races. Because whenever I put this into 2, they just crash each other out. And honestly, it might also just be because I set it up during the latter half of the season. Where there are more races that lead to, well, that has potential for causing crashes. Let's go to Singapore. Here we are at the end of Singapore. We had 3 stops here. Because the AI is 1. And even so, we still won by 30 seconds. This is purely due to safety cars. The AI is very, very inflexible during safety cars. They don't do anything. They are kind of having the Merc... how should I put this? Mercedes do value track position over anything else, really. Even though they have the fastest car, they play it safe, go for track position rather than, putting on the fresh tire, allowing the other cars to overtake. But as you can see, we had 3 seconds, 3.4 seconds fastest lap advantage over Gasly, 3.2 seconds fastest lap advantage over Ocon. And this is basically due to all 3 of our pit stops being from fresh soft to medium. That's the first one. We had a safety car a couple of laps after that, leading us to pit basically fresh mediums onto fresh softs. And then we had those softs again on a later safety car at around 60%, onto scrub softs at 92%, which meant that we pitted a lot, but we had 2 pit stops under safety car and 1 pit stop normal. And as you can see, that last pit stop was probably on lap 650 out of 61. So 11 laps resulted in a 34-second advantage due to us pitting onto fresh softs and the AI staying on old mediums. So, especially in Singapore, if you have safety cars, take advantage of them, because the softs are just that much better than the mediums. In terms of results, say after my rant, Pierre Gasly 3rd, Doohan 6th. We have Ocon and Leclerc 4th and 5th for Mercedes. Driver Championship here. Well, Red Bull also had a horrible weekend. Both cars crashed out during the race. And one of them also crashed out during Q2. So I assume that was Norris because he started, as you can see, 15th. So Norris crashed out during Q2. And in terms of Driver Championship here, Piastri retakes the lead. Pourchaire is now 3 points behind. Ocon up into 5th, past Sainz and Norris. And Constructors, Mercedes now is gaining on Ferrari. We'll have to see how this fight for 3rd goes. And if Red Bull can potentially get involved as well. Decent amount of development here for both our drivers. They were basically, playing amongst themselves. Not really anyone else were allowed to play with them. They were very, very dominating. Made 8 million here to 2.2 from my qualifying position streak for a total of, a lot of extra money. 8 million total is good. And we actually have another point here now for Pourchaire, which we'll put into cornering. We'll get cornering to 97 and then reactions, I think. The Mobile room in poor condition. We will refurbish it. Tour center again.
I don't care, but we have enough money that I guess I should. We'll just be state of the art and everything. Team Hub import condition as well. We will refurbish that one as well. We have 300 million to play with, so we don't have money concerns. Well, anytime really. Monthly car development. With first and top speed, we're lacking a little bit in acceleration and cornering. So some of the teams are developing their cars to potentially, you know, cause us some problems there. You might want to check out who. Vacca's contract ends soon. We have Diego's contracts ending soon. But again, we will discuss these, well, renew them towards the end of the season. I don't think the other teams can poach them. So you aren't actually in a rush to renew their contracts. We'll do it at the end of the season, I think. I think potentially renewing them too late could lead to wanting to retire, but I haven't seen that yet, so we're just gonna wait for the end of this end of the season, as I've said. What else? There was something else too that I was thinking about. Oh yeah, the car that is now better than ours. Is it the Alpine? They're gaining a little bit of acceleration here, but as you can see, it's not them. Is it Mercedes? Mercedes are doing the acceleration thing. So Merc now has the best acceleration on the grid, under DRS and otherwise. Who is it that is stealing our... Is it McLaren? No. They're actually doing really good for the car specs that they have. Is it Red Bull? Who's the one that has... Who's the team that has pipped us on cornering? Is it AlphaTauri maybe? No. Aston is decidedly slowest team. Which team is it that I haven't checked? Is that... What? Okay, so it's not the second car. I'm just gonna go through a list here because I'm being silly. Let's start with Ferrari. It's not Ferrari. McLaren? No, McLaren. I don't think it was Red Bull either. Nope. Mercedes. They got us an acceleration, but that's it, basically. Alpine? Not really. Williams. That would be us. Haas? No. AlphaTauri? No. I think I know what it is. That one of the other cars. That's car 2 for one of these teams, I think. I'm probably in a wild goose chase here. I'm just not getting what's happening. That's our car. Alpine? It's Alpine. Okay, so it was just me being silly. So they actually got Gasly the better car. You can see Alpine has the low speed cornering. They just put it on car 2, which is what led to my confusion. But that's also interesting even of itself, that you can see that they actually have invested into cornering here. I would assume it's the front wing. I would also assume that it'll be on the other car here, now that we're getting to Japan. It's really the only thing that would make sense to me. And let's just get our performance targets set up. Q2, Q3. Again, shouldn't be a concern for our drivers. Finish position, 1, 2. Also should be a concern. And these are good as well. Let's go to the race weekend. Here we are. The end of the Japanese Grand Prix. We did another one too. Pocher won this one. Doohan third, Leclerc fourth, Norris fifth, and Ocon sixth. Mercedes and Red Bull taking the points along with us and Alpine. And as you can see from the Driver Championship here, we have Pocher moving up to first. 1 point between him and Piastri. Norris in sixth here, overtaking Sainz. And in the Constructors, Merc is now ahead of Ferrari. And we'll have to see if Red Bull can potentially catch up to Ferrari here towards the end of the season, because Ferrari hasn't scored points in a while. We'll have to see how that plays out. Decent amount of development. Not the best we've seen, but it's still okay. And we did make a decent amount of money too, so I can't complain too much. and about 700,000 extra, which isn't the best, but it's still not bad. It's still good. The mobility room has been refurbished, which is good. We have another point here for Porsche. Seems to be getting them fairly, you know, on a race basis right now. Put that in cornering, and then we're going to do reactions after we get cornering to 97. Again, we are not going to be using Piastri's points for now. A little bit. I'm tempted to just try and max his defending and see if Porsche is going to struggle to overtake him with that. It might be what we do for him, honestly, because we don't need smoothness on him. That's fine. But again, we need to do the test, and we're going to do that at Coda. Mobility room refurbishment completed. Bearman has a couple of development points, put one in braking, one in reactions. Again, we just want to get him on 85 average. And again, we're not going to use Piastri's points for now. Post-race overview. Japanese Grand Prix. Congratulations from the board. And a fact. We have rear wing research completed, and we have side pod research completed. Let's see how they're looking. So we gained about almost 3% in both airflow for front and middle. Engine cooling gained about 1.5%. And we gained very, very little in drag, 0.02. No. 0.2, sorry. Not 0.02. That would be a bit harsh, honestly. How we're looking on the chassis. Maybe need to do some work here. Side pods. Side pods are actually worse off looking than a chassis, I believe. No, chassis is actually worse off. How's the suspension looking? Honestly, I think we'll put some effort into the suspension. I feel like that is worth it. Rear wing, though, it's basically caught up. Basically caught up. We could invest CFD and mile hours, though, into the rear wing. That is worth it. It'll give us a bit of a speed boost, mainly. And again, we'll be focusing the airflow. And honestly, I think we'll focus everything here now on the rear wing. With the CFD time, it'll be okay. There's about a 3% gain in drag reduction. Will give us, well, 0.12, which translates to about 6% in low speed downforce. About 0.1, 5% in medium, and gaining just 0.03, 3% in high speed, but that's fine. It's already at 65%. This one would be at even lower, just a little over 60. Same for this one, 61%, so they kind of need to catch up. This would also alleviate the issues here with airflow. That's good. And the DRS Delta 2 would gain a bit of a boost here. So I think this is perfectly okay. We'll put 5 engineers on it. It'll be done 7th of December. Or we could just do this, honestly. Just one engineer, and it'll run to the end of the season. Again, the gains here, daily gains, get slightly more daily gain by having it done quicker. You get slightly less daily gain by doing this, but you'll get more expertise. Well, you'll get, let me put it this way. If you, from a daily gain perspective, this is most efficient. But when we consider that we only have 23, 24 days at the end of the season, it's better for us to do this because we'll be able to gain more expertise for the rear wing this season than if we didn't. The way to look at it is this is higher daily expertise gain. This is slightly lower daily expertise gain, but it goes on longer. So more engineers is more efficient. But if you are time limited, this is the better way of doing things. I know that I'm bad at explaining it, but more engineers, more expertise a day. The project will be done quicker though, so in general, more expertise, more engineers is better. But if you're limited by time like we are, end of season, just getting it as close to the end of season deadline as possible is the better choice. I know that I suck at explaining that one. I can't really think, but that's what it is. Now, did I do that as a research? I did. Good. I thought for a second I did that as, the other one. We're going to focus a little bit here on the suspension though. As I said, we do want to get this one fixed. Brake cooling and airflow front. And we'll just tune everything down because again, we want to maintain for the most part. It's, suspension is actually something we've kind of invested into. As you can see, we're at 63.5%, which is just 4 or 5% behind the rear wing. So we need to keep that up and running, and now we can actually start using some more engineers too to really help us out, because we have 3 engineers now. Current projects, which means that we can now put another engineer on. Won't really help do anything for the time sheet, which is fine. And we can also slap another engineer now on the underfloor, saving us 2 days, which is good. And as I said, we'll just let this one run to the end of the season. That should be okay. Revenue research completed. We gained about, as you can see, 5% gain there in airflow sensitivity. We need to get it back up to about 78, 79. So we're looking fairly good there. Let's continue. Soul center has been refurbished. Again, I wouldn't say that's something important to refurbish, but we have enough money there where refurbishing things isn't actually a concern of ours. It's just something we can do without being too bothered. Piastri has, again, a lot of development points. We aren't going to be using them for now. Race sim refurbishment complete. Good. Weather center in poor condition. Let's refurbish. Again, I really wish you could refurbish whenever you want. Like, say this one. It's about to become bad, especially for things like the weather center, which has a huge effect on races if it's raining, because forecast accuracy. I really wish you could refurbish that before it loses efficiency, or like you have a grace period. If you start refurbishment now, you won't lose any of your boosts, but if you wait any longer, you will be, you know, having a day or two where you do not have the boost. I would really like it if they change up the way it works, like that. That would be good. Front wing research has completed. Let's have a look at how what we gained. About 2% in airflow front, about a little bit over 2 in airflow sensitivity. Brake cooling is getting up though at 89%. So, but keep in mind those numbers include the boost that we gained from aerodynamics, technical chief, and the car part test center. So our expertise is just 56.86%, which means that in theory here we could try and push the cooling. Well, we have a 20% research benefit here, lose 5%, which means this is about 70%. We could try and push brake cooling into, you know, 100% territory, see if it's breachable. That could be something we might try here. But for now, we are going to be focusing on this. And honestly, we've already done everything here. And if you want to force brake cooling into 100% territory, which honestly would be a fun thing to test out, it's going to take some work. With that in mind, let's just get these a little bit more boosted. Wow, we're actually lacking in low speed downforce. 1.1 translates into about 55%. This one would be about 60%, well, 59.9. And this one at 65. We actually lack a lot of low and medium speed downforce. They're actually falling behind. So we'll invest a little bit in them. Again, these numbers need to be divided by 2. So a 0.07 gain is 3.5%. And a 0.06 is a 3% gain. So I think we'll do that. We'll also invest a little bit into brake cooling here. And we'll get about a little bit over a percentage point in both of these as well. So we'll do one more front wing. We'll do the same thing as we did with the rear wing here. We'll just put 2 engineers on it, have it run to the end. Even if we do everything here, we'll get about 20 days of, you know, research. It's not worth it. And we'll just do it like this. Just easier. We are going to be losing a bit out though on the you know, the other parts, but that's fine. I think it's perfectly reasonable. Now, we do have wind tunnel in poor condition as well. Let's go ahead and refurbish. Again, I really wish you could do it earlier because we are losing out because of this. And let's see, race prep. We need to get performance target set up. Qualifying position, 1, 2. I'll have to be a bit more careful. Both cars in Q2 shouldn't be an issue. Finish position 1, 2. Both drivers should be okay. And with that, I think we are ready. Now, I'll be doing the smoothness test too. It should be out later today. So we'll see how that actually plays out. If it's a linear or exponential, you know, factor. Because if it's linear, I'd say it's probably not worth it, honestly, to invest in at all. But again, it's kind of a rough one. We'll see. Let's get done with United States here. Let's see where we end up. Pretty good. 1-2 for us. Porsche winning. Those units did help him out here, I dare say, in Coda. That's not really that surprising though. It's the highest egg track. Doohan with third and Gasly with fifth for Alpine. Mercedes fourth. We have Red Bull sixth. And in terms of the driver championship, we have Porsche now having a 5-point lead on Piastri. 3 races to go. Going to be interesting for sure. And as you can see here, Piastri has the most pole positions, but Porsche still has very, very good stats. Leclerc moves up past Verstappen. In constructors now, we have Red Bull getting another points. Can they get 9 points though, with Ferrari getting 0 during these last 3 races? And can Merc maintain their position as well? In terms of development, fairly good here. 1600 for Piastri, 1900 for Porsche, rather good. And money-wise, we make about 900,000 extra in guarantees, also rather good. And we have another point here, which will go into cornering. So Porsche is getting up there where he is starting to get about the same stats as Piastri. And as you can see, the board congratulates us for our result. Good. And we are going to be right into next race here at Mexico, but should be a helipad. We're going to upgrade, refurbish it, no problem. And we have some race prep here. Performance targets, let's get them set up. Qualifying position Q3. It's both drives into Q3, of course. 1-2 in qualifying. Fastest lap shouldn't be an issue. And with that, I guess we're off to the race weekend. Race is just finished. We did a 1-2. Porsche won, Piastri second. Porsche is really starting to become quite a lot quicker than Piastri, which is impressive, don't get me wrong. Doohan third, Gasly fifth for Alpine. We have Verstappen here, fourth for Ferrari, Leclerc sixth for Merc. Ferrari getting up a little bit higher is good for them and interesting. Could potentially have us a fight between Ferrari and Merc towards the end of the season. Driver Championship, Leclerc and Verstappen both moving up a spot each. Sainz losing out as a result. Constructors, we have now just 3 points between Merc and Ferrari. Red Bull is now 12 points behind. Going to be difficult to get anything done during the last 2 races. And also here now we have Porsche 9 points ahead of Piastri. So going to be interesting here to see if Porsche can clinch this championship. Again, a good amount of development. Can be very happy with that. Money-wise too, we made 5.6 million. Again, about 700,000 extra. It's not great, not terrible. It's what we're getting used to, really. Safety sim has been refurbished. Very good. And we have the final ATR period of the season starting. I think we might actually put this into the suspension then, because we already have projects going for everything, I believe. We have underfloor research finishing in 16 days. I think we'll just put it into suspension. It's not a great use of it, honestly, but our underfloor is good enough that even if we put ATR into it, as we had a look at earlier, it wouldn't give us a huge boost. So I feel like it's not really worth it. We're still losing out though in terms of acceleration and low speed cornering, as you can see. Top speed for the RS2 we're kind of losing out on. So the other teams are developing their cars. But then again, you kind of expect this. We have been doing nothing but research this basically entire season. So it's not that surprising, is it? Again, we're going to put all of our safety and wind tunnel hours into the suspension. Again, not a great use of the time, but it's better than, you know, doing nothing. And we're just going to put everything to the right, leading to about a 3.5% gain in drag reduction, leading to almost a 5.5% gain in low speed downforce. Same for medium, 4% gain in high speed. Brake cooling, almost 3%. Airflow, we're gaining 6%. We're still going to lose a bit though. We're going to have to make some more work here. But it's still a decent amount of stats gained here, in all honesty. We can be happy with that. Let's put in 6 engineers. Again, we're going to be able to make another suspension by doing this, so it's fine. There we are. let's continue. Facility refurbishment has been completed for the team hub. Good. And I believe we'll also have something else happening. Nope, that was sponsor obligations. And then we'll be ready for Brazil, which is actually happening this coming weekend in real life. Gonna be an interesting one. I believe Brazil has a sprint race. Again, I feel like a good way of doing this would be to, you know, add things that are missing over, you know, the course of a year or two, rather than having a yearly release. Or, you know, as I said in my update video, put quality of life, like unlapping and other things like that. Basic quality of life things that should be in the game. But if you feel like sprint races and, you know, engine manufacturing, you know, factory teams that make their own engines are bigger things, add that into the new game. Add F2, add F3, things like that into the 23 game instead and sell that. But add anything that is quality of life, unlapping, DRS, making the AI more adaptable. Make that updates. And again, I know that I harp on this a lot, but it's just, I want this game to be good. And it's kind of hard to see it happening with the way they're currently doing things, which also hurts the motivation somewhat. So I'm hoping we'll see some changes, but I think I just gave them a bit too much leniency at the beginning, maybe. I don't know. Sorry for hopping on this. Let's get on with the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. This was a weird race, all things considered. It's Gasly. You can see here. He is also out, I assume. Verstappen? What? Okay, so Verstappen is somehow 20th. Did he too crash out and I just didn't realize? But yeah, Piastri won, Porsche third, Doohan second. Kind of saved there potentially by the safety car. Ferrari fourth, Mercedes fifth, Russell sixth for Red Bull. And in terms of driver championship, Sainz actually moves up 4 places. Leclerc moves up 1. And we now have 3 points between Piastri and Porsche, meaning that whoever of them wins the final race wins the championship. Constructors, we have Ferrari gaining again on Mercedes, just 2 points between them now. They gain 1, so they'll be fighting themselves in between. And of course, I don't think the change of the bottom 5 teams will change here, but the final race is one that usually has some crashes involved, so it could happen. I might also gone a little bit too quick here into the experience report, but that's fine. We gained a decent amount of development for both drivers. It's been basically what we've been getting all season, between 1500 and 2000. 11 overtakes, 13 overtakes, pretty good. Can be happy with that. Let's continue. Finances, 8.5 million. I believe we managed both of our performance incentives here. Qualifying. And also finish position streak, very good. Making 8.5 million gained here in one race, very, very nice. Close to twice what we make usually, but still pretty good. And one more cornering point here for Porsche. And car part test center in poor condition. Let's refurbish. An up-and-coming driver, Joban Prani. Still can't hire him. He's been 3 seasons, so I assume this is a bug that just got introduced somehow into this save, which is unfortunate. And if it is a bug, then some of my earlier, you know, negatives about how the system works is probably not really fair. But still, if they're gonna add new drivers, they need to reach in at 16 or something. We could also invest points in out into Piastri. I have a save for... I haven't done the test yet for smoothness. I'm just recording the end of the season in one go. Then I'll get the video uploaded first, and then we'll do the smoothness testing. But I'm thinking that we just invest maybe in overtaking and defending, and just see if it has an effect. If we invest everything in defending, we can get up to about 87. Sorry, not 87, 85. So I'm thinking that we might just keep the development points for now. It's fine to do it like that. We can use it to, again, test things down the line, which I feel is more important. So for now, Behrman, we're going to put 2 points in reactions. Again, we're going to get this to 85. Just, I feel like it's a good place to start, personally. But then again, it's personal preference. Research we'll be completing. Is this the underfloor? It is. And with this, we're currently at 85.2, 87.6. So we fixed a little bit on the airflow sensitivity. We have gained a little bit here, but again, it's just decimal points behind this again. And in terms of the underfloor now, we are going to be losing out about 1.3%. It's not great, it's not terrible, but we'll regain that pretty quickly next season if we end up continuing, which, again, I doubt. Guess we'll go into the chassis here, and we'll just balance the gains from here on out. We're going to still focus a little bit on the cooling part, and we're also going to try and get the airflow, though, fixed. That's going to be the main goal. Put all the engineers on it, and as you see here, it's going to be rough, but we might get one more project in. If we do this, we'd still, you know, lose out a bit, so we're going to put as many engineers as we can. And we'll see what we do in terms of production time towards the end of the season, if you will. But with that said, let's set up performance targets for the final Grand Prix of the season, Abu Dhabi. And fastest lap shouldn't be a problem. These, can't really do anything with them because it's just one race. Just how things be. And with that, let's head out to the race. Here we are at season end. Boucher 1, Piastri 2nd. I completely forgot that there was double points at the end of for the final race. So Boucher got 20, Piastri got 12, and as you can see, if Piastri actually has one pit stop more than Boucher, this is due to him pitting, and then Verstappen crashing out, causing a red flag. Sainz crashed out on lap 2, safety car, so very, very sad, I guess, for Ferrari. Mercedes here, Leclerc decided to pit out of the points under the safety car. Safety car came in on lap... Tsunoda did something here. Lap 55, safety car, yeah. And then we had the Mercedes driver of Leclerc just saying, I do not want any points today. Thank you very much. Leaving them. But yeah, the red flag screwed over Piastri, but Boucher still had a very, very good race. Won, and with this secured the championship. Red Bull gaining 3rd and 4th here is very, very good for them, but still, I believe they are same points as Merck. Sorry, not Merck. Yeah, Merck. And Giovinazzi and Doohan here in the points. Giovinazzi scoring points again here for AlphaTauri is actually quite impressive. Driver Championship, Boucher wins. Piastri 2nd, 11 points behind. We have Norris in 3rd with this result, moving up quite a bit here. Best of the other teams, while Alpine and ourselves are the two best ones, but Red Bull with Norris getting 3rd here is actually quite impressive. And in the Constructor Championship here, we have 2 points between Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull, 3rd to 5th. Ferrari and Red Bull equal on points. So I don't know what the science is. I assume that one of the Ferrari podiums is a 2nd place, and all of Red Bull's podiums are 3rd places. That's the only thing that really would make sense. But yeah, a fairly good season, all things considered. 1777 development, 1955, so very good on that front too for both of our drivers. And as we can see, we made a little bit extra money. Well, 900,000 isn't a little bit, it's actually quite a lot of money, but still, a little bit for a Formula 1 team. With that now, we have Boucher up into 97 cornering. Reactions will be our next move. And we'll have to see what we do in terms of the future, because I feel like this is a good point where we end the series. We might have a look at preseason just to see where we're standing, but I think this is a very, very good point to end this series. We have done, I believe, everything we wanted to. If there's something we are missing, please let me know. But we might do Stroll and Latifi challenge in Williams if we want to do 2 series at once. But again, we'll have to see. Upcoming board review, usual reminder, high confidence, I would hope so. Boucher, thank you. Thank you personally for your helping take me to the driver championship win. Great season, amazing way to end it. He'll be celebrating, good. Car development has been locked. Congratulations for winning the constructors from Vaca. Boucher wins driver championship. They're over the moon. Very good. And as you can see here from the results, 2 and 3rd. He's finally in a good team. honestly, I can make something out of him. And again, Ferrari and Red Bull equal in points. Mercedes beat them out by 2. That is a bit interesting. And now, if we add all of these points together, 100 plus 40 plus 40 plus 40, we end up at 330, 4311. We end up at 9. 9 plus 9, 10, 19. 19 plus 41, we're at 60. 101. 144. 258. We scored more points than the rest of the teams combined, I believe. Is unfortunate. That's the best way I can describe it. Still a great success, don't get me wrong, but still unfortunate. Now we have, again, the end of the season here, board performance review. O'Shea wins the championship. We win first place. And with that, we have completed all our goals. We gain a few more points into our heritage, but we're already maxed on constructors and drivers, so it doesn't really matter. And once again, the board has offered me the 1.5 million that we usually are given. Now, tire changes are actually close to max here at 97. Should probably change the focus into front and rear jacks, and then car release. But yeah, we are getting very, very good on most of the pit staff work. Regulation changes, we're going back to the old scoring system. Pole position is going to give a bonus point. Fastest lap is going to get a bonus point, meaning that we will have the maximum amount of points allocated during a season. We are going to have to deal with these minor technical changes. I think we've dealt with them on the 3 biggest ones. We're still losing out a little bit on the 3 smaller ones. Cost cap here is going to hurt us a bit, I think. Currently, we actually have a lot of money to spare, so not really. We're actually quite good on that. So yeah, the loss will potentially sting, but we're doing it kind of, I should say it cautiously, carefully, slowly maybe. Refurbish the simulator. Suspension sim, no problem. And suspension research has actually been completed. So I don't know what we want to do here now. It'll take 40 days. We'll do a side pod here. It's still gonna lose a lot of expertise, as you can see. Gonna lose a little bit on the cooling department too, but I think we'll do it like this. It's still a big loss, don't get me wrong. We're gonna have to focus probably on it a little bit. And actually, we will not be able to do that. So if we tune down the engine... Here's the thing, all the focuses does take time. So we're gonna keep these 2 in the middle, just because it's easier, it takes less time. And we're going to have to do it like this, so we can actually get the side pods made in time. And that's just how we're going to have to do it. As I said, I probably will not be... Position will be vacant. So we will have to, you know, go to staff. They're still hired, and I believe that we can extend if we really want to. And honestly, we might as well just get that out of the way. So back here, front wing, contract. Could renew it. And we're going to put in 5 seasons. Going to up his salary by, I guess, 200k. See how he feels about that. And let's see how he feels about this. But I believe this is actually just a 4-year contract in theory. So it isn't high enough. Let's try and give him 4.2 maybe. Because he has been growing during these 5 seasons, don't get me wrong. Currently a medium. Let's try 4.750. Still not enough. Okay, this could be bad. How much do we others get paid? So your contract is running out. Currently have 1.3 million a year. Go up to 1.6 maybe. How are you feeling about that, Diego? You're very happy with that. Okay, so we'll renew the contract for him. No big problem. Dirk, how much are you making? 3.7 million. So are you just playing hard to get? Is that it? Let's go all in and let's give him 5.75. And a little bit extra. It's gonna be expensive, don't get me wrong. But he's worth it. I think he's the highest one. That was more than enough. Okay, so we might have given him a little bit too high of a salary. But again, last chance, so didn't want to take any chances here. Scout for replacement. He should be the highest rated one. Cadil is the other one. Resta potentially. But still, he is someone that we have been nurturing. And he's maxed on underfloor and rear wing. So extra amount of money to keep that asset is worth it for now. Now, again, we fixed that problem. Annual post-season report of the staff roster. Very good. Facility refurbishment completed. Weather center is back. Again, I really wish you could contract renewals. You really could make it so that it's refurbished. The refurbishment will be done by the time you start losing the effect. That would be great. Chassis has been researched. We'll do one more. Chassis will take probably too long. I believe suspension is the shortest research that we have. And we'll try and get the brake cooling and the airflow done. But for now, let's just put in all 6 engineers. As you can see, we don't really have too much we can invest in. We could actually do this with drag reduction, which I think is okay. Sacrifice. And with that, let's get the final research of the year underway. And we still had about 50 million on the cost cap, so we could probably design some more parts on Intense to really make the maximum out of the year's budget. But it's fine. Car test center has been refurbished. We have unused scouts, unused other personnel, but that's fine. Engineers is the word I was looking for. Internal refurbishment completed. Good. Be good for next season, honestly. Again, I think I'm gonna end this this playthrough here. I don't think there's anything in particular that we can gain, and we do seem to have picked up a few bugs with, not being able to hire junior drivers, even though our drivers are fairly young already. So I'll consider it as we go. Rear wing research completed. Front wing research completed. Very good. As you can see, we gained about 1.5% in airflow here. About the same in the sensitivity department. Almost, well, a little bit over 2%. 1.3% in brake cooling. I don't know why I thought that was 2%. At least a little bit too tight. About 3% here. 2.5% here. Nothing on the high speed, but still fairly okay. The rear wing, we gained a lot in airflow sensitivity. Gained a lot in airflow. Sorry, DRS delta, 3%. 3% in. Sorry, 2%. 3% in drag reduction too. Why am I not working with numbers today? This is actually kind of spooky. But it should be okay. Sorry. I might just be a little bit rushed here. Trying to get as much done today as I can. Idle engineers, unused scouts. Again, we don't care. Fine. Gain about a little bit over a percentage in airflow. Brake cooling gain. Very minor, but still there. Again, this is the suspension we made at the end. I think the smaller parts now, if I want them to catch up, we're just going to have to put through a lot of intense projects. It's just how it be. And we are going to be losing out a bit in terms of side pods, honestly. But that's just how it be. With that, we're at the end of the season. Piastri ended up with 17 points. I'll be sitting down now doing the smoothness test. See just how much of an effect it has on tire wear in particular. That's really the only thing we care about. And potentially how much said tire wear has to do for lap times. The best way to test this would be to have Porsche also at the same stats that Piastri has, but that would be a bit too much work for me to set up personally. So with us reaching the end of this season and potentially the end of the series, again, I'd like to thank everyone who has been following. It's been very, very good to have all of you on board. Thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe. Helps me out a ton. And as I said, if you think there's something I have yet to do in this series, please let me know. Because what I'm thinking is that we'll focus a bit on Aston and then maybe once Aston starts reaching its natural conclusion, we might try something, say, Stroll and Latifi challenge in Williams, where we pick up both of the Canadians, put them in Williams, and see how long it would take to make each of them world champion, for instance. We could do that, but I'm a little bit unsure. Currently, though, I still have the McLaren save that we will be streaming. I'll try and get a stream done. Well, try and get some more streaming done in the near future, but it'll depend on when I have time. Again, thank you very much to all who followed. Please come with your suggestions on what we should be doing, and I hope to see you around the next time. Bye bye.